have you ever noticed something strange? The moment you set a new goal, you feel excited, energized, almost unstoppable. You imagine the future, you picture the result, you tell yourself, this time is different. And for a short moment, it feels true. But then, days later, sometimes even hours later, that motivation fades. The goal is still important, the reason still makes sense, nothing actually changed, yet somehow you don't feel the same drive anymore. And that leads to a confusing question. Why do we lose motivation right after setting a goal? It feels like self-sabotage, but it isn't. Your brain is playing a trick on you, and once you understand it, everything changes. Today, on EDUx Talks, we're uncovering the hidden brain mechanism called goal completion dopamine and how to design goals that keep you motivated long-term instead of draining your energy. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Your brain doesn't distinguish between imagining success and achieving success. The moment you set a goal, especially when you visualize it clearly, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical linked to motivation, reward, and anticipation. It's what makes new goals feel exciting. It's what creates that sudden rush of confidence. It's what makes you feel productive before you've even started. But here's the problem. That dopamine spike doesn't wait for effort. It happens at the moment of decision. In other words, your brain celebrates early. This is called goal completion dopamine. The brain gives you a reward signal not for doing the work, but for deciding to do the work. From your brain's perspective, setting the goal already feels like progress. And once the reward is partially delivered, the urgency disappears. This explains something many people feel but can't explain. Why talking about goals feels good, but working on them feels heavy. Why announcing a goal gives you energy, but sitting down to act feels heavy. Why writing plans feels productive, but execution feels exhausting. Your brain already got a taste of success, so when real effort shows up, slow, boring, uncomfortable effort, your motivation drops. There's another reason this happens. Your brain loves clarity, but hates friction. Setting a goal is clean, clear, simple, but pursuing a goal introduces friction. Uncertainty, mistakes, slow progress, boredom, self-doubt. Once friction appears, the brain starts looking for easier rewards. And compared to the excitement of goal setting, daily effort feels dull. So motivation fades, not because you're weak, but because the brain follows reward efficiency. Now, here's a crucial insight. Motivation is not designed to last. Motivation is meant to start movement, not sustain it. Your brain evolved to respond to immediate rewards, not long-term effort. Modern goals, learning skills, building habits, improving life, require delayed rewards. That mismatch creates frustration. You expect motivation to carry you, but motivation was never meant to do that job. This is why relying on motivation alone always fails. When motivation disappears, people assume something is wrong with them. I lost discipline. I'm not serious enough. I'm lazy. But the truth is simpler. The goal was designed to excite your brain, not support it. So how do you design goals that keep motivation alive? You don't fight your brain. You work with it. First shift, stop rewarding yourself at the decision stage. Talking about goals, announcing them, imagining the result, all of these release dopamine. Instead, delay the reward. Keep goals quiet. Let action, not intention, be the source of satisfaction. When the brain associates dopamine with doing, motivation lasts longer. Second shift, design goals around actions, not outcomes. Outcome-based goals sound inspiring. Get fit, be successful, learn a new skill. But the brain can't act on outcomes. Action-based goals create clarity. Walk for 10 minutes, write one paragraph, practice for 15 minutes. Small actions generate repeated dopamine hits, and that keeps momentum alive. Third shift, shrink the starting point. Big goals trigger pressure. Pressure kills motivation. Your brain resists tasks that feel heavy. When the first step feels too small to fail, your brain stops resisting. Motivation grows after movement begins, not before. Fourth shift, create visible progress. Your brain stays motivated when it can see movement. Checklists, streaks, tracking progress visually. Progress, even slow progress, creates dopamine. Stagnation kills motivation. Visibility revives it. Fifth shift, expect motivation to dip. This matters more than anything. The moment motivation fades, most people panic and quit. But losing motivation doesn't mean the goal is wrong. It means you've entered the work phase, and that phase is quiet, uncomfortable, unspectacular, but it's where real change happens. Here's the deeper truth. Consistency beats motivation. Systems beat goals. Identity beats excitement. When your goal becomes part of who you are, not just something you want, your brain stops negotiating. You don't wait to feel motivated to brush your teeth. You don't need excitement to show up to class. The same principle applies to growth. Losing motivation after setting a goal isn't failure, it's biology. It's your brain mistaking intention for completion. Once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself. And when you stop blaming yourself, you start designing better goals. Goals that work with your brain. Goals that survive boredom. Goals that grow quietly, day by day. If this helped you understand your motivation better, subscribe to EDUx Talks. We break down the hidden science behind everyday struggles so you can stop fighting your brain and start building a life that actually works. Because your motivation didn't disappear. It was never meant to lead alone.